My name is Nisha Jackson. Welcome to One Peak Medical Clinic. We are thrilled that you're part of our team. I wanted to give you a little background on my history in medicine, just so you had a good idea, where did Peak Medical come from? And so I want to just start off by saying I've been practicing since 1990, and I opened up my first integrative medicine clinic in 1994, right here in Southern Oregon. And that clinic started with just me. And that clinic grew out of a need for people wanting to have more for their health. They wanted to have more than just a prescription and a 10-minute office visit. They wanted to know, what can I do about my weight? What can I do about the fact that I can't sleep at night? Why am I just getting prescriptions that really aren't working? And so that inspired me to try to figure out ways like, how could we change the diet? How could we add supplementation? How could we tweak hormones so that maybe it worked better for people as they age? So all of these thoughts were in my head in the early 90s, and I wanted to be able to try to create a program that helped patients get over their symptoms and feel better. And the reality is, I wanted it for myself too. So in 1994, I started a clinic called Body Analysis Clinic that we actually focused on hormones and weight management. And then that soon became a clinic that was called Southern Oregon Health and Wellness. And then that kind of morphed into another clinic that was called the same clinic, but just we just kept evolving and adding more services. And that eventually became Ventana Wellness. That clinic grew to 20 medical providers and about 96 employees, and we had multiple specialties within that organization. We had MDs and DOs, PAs, nurse practitioners, nutritionists, acupuncturists, naturopaths, nutritionists, and we worked on several areas in the healthcare field. And about 5 years ago, so about 2015, I sold that clinic, and I was going to retire. And about 30 days after all of that ended, I decided that wasn't going to work so well for me, and I really wanted more from my life. I missed my patient care, and I knew that there was probably something else I was supposed to be doing. So shortly thereafter, I started this clinic called One Peak Medical, and again, started just by myself in a very small building with 3 other staff members. Who are still with us. And that clinic now has grown to One Peak Medical, currently 5 locations, soon to be many more, mostly here in Oregon, although we're looking at expansion into other states of the Northwest. And so the clinic today, One Peak Medical, focuses on several things that I think are really important for aging. One is balancing the entire endocrine system. And many people don't know what the endocrine system is, but the endocrine system is looking at sex hormones for men and women, so like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, and then looking at the stress hormones, because as we age, unfortunately, stress takes its toll on our body, which affects really all of the hormones in our body, but specifically the stress system hormones. And then we also look at the thyroid hormones, brain chemicals, vitamin levels in the body. And then we look at how the gut is being optimized so that all of the things that we're taking and using are working at its best. So the goal at One Peak Medical is to take somebody who's not feeling very well. Like, let's just say it's a 48-year-old woman. She comes in and she has hot flashes and night sweats. Maybe her periods are irregular. She's gaining weight every year. She's just frustrated because she keeps going to another medical practice that gives her antidepressants and sleeping pills and all of the things that she really doesn't want to take, but they are working. So she might come to us and say, well, I've heard that you guys can look at all of the levels and maybe get to the bottom of the problem. So indeed, that's exactly what we do. We would take an intake with a patient and find out what all of their symptoms are. So for a lady like this who's 48 and very symptomatic, we would look at all of the history of this particular patient. We would look at her family history. What is she eating? How is she sleeping at night? What is her stress level at that particular time or in the past 6 months? And then we would look at doing a blood test that day. We have an in-house laboratory, so we draw blood in our own clinic, And then we run the lab test in our own laboratory, which is really nice because we have more control over the specimens. Then we would have the patient come back and we would go over all of the test results and we would explain what is going on with her symptoms, and we would match up the test results with the symptoms. And then we would go to work at fixing her diet, and we would fix her vitamin levels by using some of our supplement line. And then we would see her back once we put her on a treatment program to help get her balanced over a period of time. Typically, this process would take no more than 90 days to get her balanced, although she would have symptom relief right away. So this is what we look at doing at One Peak Medical, and I'm so passionate about it. I've done it for so many years. I'm not sure why. I'm potentially more passionate about it today than I was even 30 years ago, probably because you really see people change. You can move them from feeling absolutely terrible and going down the wrong path. I mean, if you're 48 and you're feeling like that, where do you go from there? So I love having the opportunity to work with other medical professionals that we can take a patient that doesn't feel well and we can move her off that path onto the path of wellness. She can age better with less age-related problems. So that's really what One Peak Medical is all about. And I'm thrilled that you're part of One Peak Medical. You're going to enjoy the ride.